Hello, and welcome to McAlister Auditorium. At this time, we ask that you please note this facility's emergency exits. 2 are located to the sides of the stage, and 4 are located at the rear of both the main floor and balcony levels. Thank you.
Hi, class of 2026. I am so beyond grateful for the opportunity to speak to you all at this momentous occasion and to have served as your student body president this year. We made it! Our high school graduation is finally here! Our time at the Governor's School and my time with all of you is something I wouldn't trade for the world. There have been challenges, but we persevered. We went to class during a hurricane. We had an extended break due to the snowstorm, and the infamous quiet hour bell will always haunt us. Though these were challenging events, there's so much good that has happened. A new blacksmithing class was added for the VAs. We had many Scholastic and All-State winners. We had the first annual Century Cycles Continues competition hosted by alum Danielle Brooks, and our first ever senior film class will be graduating with us today. Yes, our senior class is amazing, but we also have to acknowledge the other people on campus who helped us along the way to get here. The faculty that we've been blessed with invest in our future and leads us to becoming multifaceted individuals. It also isn't just our teachers. When I say our faculty, I mean every one of them. Mr. Mike is always playing the perfect music and joking with us in the cafeteria. Mr. Al is always brightening our days with his infectious smile. Dr. Burns and Dr. Adderley giving us hard truths at community meetings. All the RLCs helping us to become responsible individuals in the residence hall. And Miss Lori and Sarah are always chatting with us when we go to sign out. Everyone at this school, both students and faculty, work together to create a welcoming and loving environment. I love the family that the Governor's School has given me. I always thought this school would be like High School Musical, and while there isn't a lot of breaking out into coordinated singing and dancing, we are all in this together. The truth is, I won't get to see all of you again, but I'm so glad you were in this season of my lifetime. And now I won't get too sappy, because this is just the introduction, but I am so happy for all of us. Everyone on our campus has each other's backs, and I am so proud to be part of a bond that strong. The Governor's School is a gym for young artists, and I'm so blessed to be here. Whether you pursue a career in your art area or not, the skills and tools you've gained at this school will always stick with you. Now, I know we all know the GovUnity slogan, so if we could say it together one last time. We are one path, one community. We are GovUnity! And our sports teams are still undefeated. Welcome to graduation, class of 2026. I cannot wait to see how our next chapter unfolds.
Thank you, Tegan. Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. I am also honored to welcome the families and graduates to our commencement exercises this afternoon. Also to our live stream audience, viewing our event online, I extend a warm welcome to you. On behalf of the administration, I want to extend a special thanks to Tegan and our student body officers. We appreciate your committed service throughout the year. And also to Zoe Smith and Rowan Tinkler, President and Vice President of the senior class. I thank you for your leadership and for the thoughtful class gift to the campus presented on last evening. The generosity of the class of 26, your parents, and members of your extended families is greatly appreciated. At this time, I'd like to recognize the members of the Governor's School leadership that are seated on the stage to my left. If they would please stand and be recognized. Mr. Chad Prosser, Chairman of the Board of Directors. Dr. Jennifer Thomas, Dean and Vice President of Arts and Academics. Dr. Matthew Burns, Vice President for Student Development. Ms. Betsy Beam, Vice President for Finance and Administration. Ms. Anna Catherine Freeland, Chair of Academics and Humanities. Ms. Emily Chinquamani, Chair of Creative Writing. Ms. Elizabeth Wright, Chair of the Dance Department. Ms. Candace Dickinson, Chair of the Drama Department. Mr. Kevin Human, Chair of the Film Department. Dr. Lauren Vaughn, Chair of the Music Department. And Mr. David Gerhardt, Chair of the Visual Art Department. At this time, I would like to acknowledge all employees of the Governor's School seated in the audience. Please stand and be recognized. They have been committed mentors every step of the way for this outstanding graduating class. At this time, I'm pleased to introduce a distinguished member of the Governor's School community. He's a lifelong advocate for the arts and a believer in the transformative power of the creative disciplines. Chad Prosser has dedicated his career to fostering growth and advancement in both public institutions and private enterprises. First appointed to the board of the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities in 2015, he has served as chairman since 2018, guiding the institution's mission to cultivate the next generation of creative leaders. Mr. Prosser's career uniquely bridges the private and public sectors with a focus on driving innovation, expanding opportunities, and leaving a lasting impact on his home state of South Carolina. He is chairman and president of BSC Analytics, a firm he co-founded in 2014 that provides transformational data services to leading U.S. banks and financial institutions. Based in South Carolina, the company operates in over 30 states and 7 foreign countries. Beyond his business and public service work, he is a passionate traveler, landscape photographer, and a painter. As a member of Governor Mark Sanford's cabinet, he led South Carolina's Tourism, Film, and State Parks Department, where his leadership helped to stimulate the state's tourism economy. He restructured and revitalized the state park system, making it financially self-sustaining and enabling improvements statewide. Beyond his professional and public service roles, Chad Prosser has served on numerous boards, including Sun Bank, now South State Bank, the U.S. Travel Association, the South Carolina Council on Competitiveness, and Travel South USA. His dedication to South Carolina has earned him the state's highest civilian honor, the Order of the Palmetto, and he is a Liberty Fellow. Chairman Prosser holds a master's degree from the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies and is a graduate of Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. He lives in Murrells Inlet with his wife, Susie, and they have 3 adult sons, 2 recent college graduates, and 1 in the following semester. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chairman Chad Prosser.
Well, thank you, Dr. Adderley. Most importantly, and you can tell by the amount of time that I've been around the school, I just find this a really cool place to come and to hang out. And as you can see, it doesn't take a whole lot to get excitement going at the Governor's School. And it's been a wonderful experience to be able to see that over the past 12 years or so that I've been on the board. Let me first congratulate the class of 2026. You made it, or almost. We're going to give out some diplomas here in just a minute, so hang on. I want to also recognize and thank your families and your siblings and your friends who are here, the ones who sacrificed being without you for the couple of years, your last few years of high school. That might not be the case for all the siblings who got the cars and the rooms and other things while you were gone, but anyway, it takes a lot to have an experience like you have at the Governor's School, to produce that experience, to take advantage of it, and for the families who support their students to come here and to grow not only as artists but also as scholars. So I'm going to be very brief, but for some reason Dr. Adderley gives me this microphone every year, so I want to make sure I make it count. A couple of things first. I want to recognize a very special member of our Govey administration, and that's Ms. Betsy Beam, our Vice President of Finance and Administration. Even in the first round of applause, Betsy, I don't think I've ever seen a VP of Finance and Administration get such a resounding round of applause. So it tells you a lot about Betsy and all that she's done over the years she's been here at the Governor's School. When she came, it was a really crucial time. The state was going through a whole fiscal regime change. We had a number of open capital projects that were lagging and in need of being finished. And Betsy used her extensive experience that she brought with her, as well as her reassuring demeanor, to successfully resolve many issues and work through some thorny issues for us. More importantly, just as Dr. Adderley has done in recruiting outstanding faculty to the Governor's School, Betsy's really shown leadership in recruiting some terrific staff members to our school as well. And without the full complement of staff and faculty and administration members, this whole production would not come together as it does. So I would like for you to join me in thanking Ms. Beam. One round of applause, please. We're going to miss her greatly. We are still trying to find someone to fill her shoes. So all of you talented graduates, if you've got talented parents or you know of someone who may be interested, it's still open. So also to Dr. Thomas, Dr. Burns, our department chairs, all of our faculty and staff, again, thank you for everything that you do every day. I hope after this service today you get a well-deserved break, at least for a few days before our summer programs begin in earnest. But let's have a round of applause for the faculty and staff one more time. Speaking of faculty, I also want to recognize one other special faculty member who is retiring this year. Jose Garon, who has been a long-standing member of our dance faculty, former dance chair. We wish you the best. Congratulations, Jose. She always tells me when we're standing in the back waiting to come in here that, you know, her habit after these graduations is to have a big steak for dinner. So I don't know how you top that when you retire. You'll have to let us know, Jose. Anyway, so I've had the honor of doing this for over 10 years now, and each and every class is special in its own way. Each of you graduates at a particular time, in a particular context and cultural background that is unique. And the class of 2026, you've been part of our very special 25th anniversary of the Governor's School as we celebrated that last year, but that was last year. So what's special about this year in which you all are going to graduate and move on to the next stage? Well, in 46 days from today, on the 4th of July, our republic celebrates its 250th anniversary. Another significant event for all of us. And I can't think of any greater segue than our country making that major turn and defining its next 250 years. That's the context in which you're graduating today, and you're the next chapter of that. And the pen is being handed to you to write that chapter. It's worth noting that our country was first defined by creators and by artists. After all, the Declaration of Independence is a work of creative writing. John Trumbull was a soldier and a painter whose depiction of the signing of the Declaration of Independence not only is on the back of every $2 bill, but hangs in the United States Capitol Rotunda. And it's the image that most of us have in our heads of that very special event. The country was an act of imagination before it was anything else, and every chapter since has needed artists to make sense of it. When the country needed a sound of its own hopefulness, Aaron Copland gave it one, and now we hear that music in every Olympic broadcast and every presidential inauguration. And when the country needed to see what its ideals looked like, Norman Rockwell painted it as four ordinary Americans, and in the process raised the equivalent of $2.5 billion in war bonds, which were essential at the time. And when the country needed words to greet the people arriving at its harbor, Emma Lazarus, the daughter of immigrants, wrote those words, and they still are on the Statue of Liberty 140 years later. And finally, when the country needed to face the harder parts of our own story, it was the songs of the Civil Rights Movement, the novels of the South, the plays of Lorraine Hansberry and August Wilson and Tony Kushner that did that work as well. America has always asked its artists to do both to celebrate it and to hold it accountable, sometimes even in the same work of art. As Govies, you're the ones who are trained to do that work as you leave the governor's school. As a community of dancers and writers and filmmakers, actors and printmakers, you know how to put that work in and to make it happen. And you know how to give critiques and how to take one. You know the feeling of putting something out there into the world that you may not be sure is quite ready. In the same manner, you all, as a class, came together to produce the musical Hadestown this year. And I can't tell you how much my wife and I enjoyed seeing that incredible performance. And it was also very touching to me to see how the entire Govey community, all of our arts areas, came together in a way to produce a very, very powerful and seamless production. So congratulations on that, everyone that was involved. In July, our country is about to throw itself a really big party. And immediately after, it's going to ask some hard questions about what we want to look like over the next 250 years. Those questions will be answered in part on stages, in galleries, in books, in songs, and in films. And they'll be answered by people just like you. It's your time to write that story. You're not the audience for this next era. You are the authors. So for the first class of the governor's school's next 25 years and the 250th anniversary of our nation, congratulations, class of 2026. So I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Adderley so we can soon get to some diplomas. Dr. Adderley?
Thank you, Chairman Prosser. Good afternoon once again. To the graduating class of 2026, as you've already heard, you made it. I've had the distinct honor of walking alongside you every step of this incredible journey. I've witnessed your growth, as well as the grit that it took to do all that you've done. And I'm privileged to stand before you one last time and bid you farewell as you close this chapter of your life and turn the page to the next. When I look out into the class of 26 and reflect upon what you've accomplished during your time as Govies, it brings me to a simple truth. It's a truth about what separates you who are here today from those who are not. You see, just a few short years ago, there were other talented students, some of our state's most accomplished young artists, who, like you, contemplated an idea, looked at the same application, and dreamed the same dream. They had the ability and the potential to be sitting right next to you today. But they're not here. And it wasn't for a lack of talent. It was for a lack of trying. They ran up against that old adversary, a universal condition that plagues each of us from time to time, and some of us more regularly than others. They ran up against fear. The fear of not being perfect, the fear of rejection, and the crippling fear of the unknown. But graduates, you chose a different path. You chose the path of courage. Having the courage to enroll at the governor's school required you to be, in your own way, fearless. It required quiet strength. It demanded a willingness to take a risk. And we know that whenever you take a risk, you may indeed fail. That's just the way it is. But we also know that the person who risks nothing gains nothing. The person who lacks courage does not grow. They don't stretch, and ultimately they cannot prosper. And I know that we often have a dramatic view of what courage looks like. We visualize the firefighter rushing into the burning building. We think of the soldier behind enemy lines facing down heavy fire. Or we think of the grand cinematic moments of heroism. But there's another kind of courage, a quieter courage. And I want you to think back right now to those moments during your time here that gave you a real knot in your stomach. Maybe it was a moment when you realized the enormous number of clock hours it would take to complete all of your academic assignments and the endless amount of work in your art areas, with all work being done at the same time. Maybe it was a moment in rehearsal or in the studio when your work just wasn't coming together, or when you realized that you were the weakest member of the ensemble and had to step up your game for the good of the group. Or maybe it was something deeply personal, the vulnerability of interacting with a classmate, or navigating a disagreement with an adult, or learning for the very first time how to live away from home, away from the safety net of your parents. Those were turning points. Those were the moments when you learned how to make really big decisions. You learned not just how to advocate for yourself, but how to have some of the hardest conversations in life. It was during those moments you stepped courageously out of your comfort zone and into the responsibilities of being young adults. In those moments, you could have easily caved. You could have sought shelter, but you didn't. You chose to step up. You exhibited that quiet strength, that day by day, trial by trial, transformed into that Govey confidence. It transformed into resilience. It transformed into true to form courage. And that, class of 2026, is what you will carry forward far beyond the walls of the governor's school. As you go forth from this place, you may very well find yourself to be an outlier among the masses. Not an outcast, but someone who stands out from the norm. And you will stand outside of that norm because of your excellence, because of your accomplishments, because you possess an awareness of what it truly takes to excel. Your courage will be evident not in what you say, but in how you move, showing others how to get the job done and how to get it done the right way. And let's be honest, the world won't always applaud you for this. While some will embrace your skills, others will resist them. You will face skeptics and you will face critics. But when that happens, I want you to remember who you are. You're Govey's class of 2026. Don't ever suffocate who you are because of the ignorance of others. Don't shrink yourself to make the world more comfortable. Reflect on your Govey experience and understand that you are indeed different. You are prepared, and you are courageous. Be energized by what you achieved here. Be energized by the knowledge that what often seems impossible, in fact, is within your grasp. You are not meant to just get to and get through the future. You're meant to shape it because you are the visionary leaders that this world needs right now. So keep being bold, keep being resilient, and stay courageous from this day forward. Congratulations, class of 2026, on an unforgettable year and an unforgettable, courageous Govey experience. Best wishes to you all. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage the Governor's School Cantus Choir under the direction of Dr. Elliott Smith, performing The Road Home, featuring Madison McCarthy as soloist. Dr. Smith.
Each year, seniors are invited to nominate a peer to represent their class as the senior speaker. Nominated students are invited to prepare and present their speeches to a committee of students, faculty, and staff, which has a very tough job to do. They select one speaker from among a very diverse and dynamic pool. Ultimately, the committee must select one student to represent the graduating class. It's my honor to introduce the committee's choice. Please welcome our commencement speaker for, to, and about the class of 2026, Madison Alexandra Stallworth.
Hello, class of 2026. We've made it! My name is Madison Stallworth, and I am a graduating visual arts senior. It is truly an honor to stand before you today. Before anything, I want to say thank you. Thank you to our parents and guardians. Thank you for believing in us and trusting us to grow without your guiding hand holding us. To our teachers and administrators, thank you for your patience, your support, and for allowing us to bring creativity into everything we do. To the staff who keep this school running every day, including maintenance, IT, security, and Res Life, thank you for caring for us and making this place feel like home. To our arts teachers, thank you for not only teaching us, but inspiring us by being an example and showing us what it means to truly live through your work. But most of all, thank you to the class of 2026. Because what we built here was more than a class, it was a community. If I had to describe our class in just 2 words, it would be this: great whimsy. Before I came here, my mom tried to calm every fear I had about not fitting in. She told me, "You'll find your people." And she was right. We did not just find fellow artists, we found our people. We found the ones who danced in the gym on Saturday nights like no one was watching, the ones who dragged sleds into the green space during a rare South Carolina snowstorm just to feel like little kids again. The ones who gathered in the amphitheater for something as wonderfully absurd as a performative male contest. We built a place where we could depend on each other, where we did not even get mad when a certain student pulled or triggered the fire alarm before Fall Fest. A place where we shared late night snacks that came with riddles you had to solve first. A place where we shared food, clothes, laughter, and pieces of ourselves. Not just being surrounded by talented people, but by people who cared. That is what made this place special. You guys have a kind of greatness that is not just about achievement, but about imagination, creativity, and the courage to fully be ourselves. We have watched each other perform, create, grow, and take risks. We have seen galleries, films, recitals, and moments that have left us in awe, and me in tears. In a world that is changing so quickly, where things like AI can imitate so much, there is one thing it will never be able to replicate: our whimsy, our imagination, our passion, our ability to create something real. That is our great whimsy. That is what got us here, and that is what will carry us forward. As we step into what is next, do not be afraid of the future. Walk into every room with the same openness, the same creativity, the same courage that brought you here and us together. Carry your great whimsy into every space you enter. Let it be what sets us apart. Let it be what keeps you grounded. Let it be what reminds you of who you are. And never lose your great whimsy. Congratulations, class of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Madison. We really appreciate your true reflections on your time here. Dean Thomas, as president of the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities, I offer my sincere thanks to the parents, families, staff, and faculty who have contributed to the achievements of this talented class of artists and scholars. Now I am honored to present to you the candidates for graduation from the class of 2026.
As we prepare to present our graduates, we ask that you try to hold your applause and other noises until all students have received their diplomas. Just do your best. This allows us to hear each student's name and to appropriately honor each one of our 116 graduates. Once all diplomas are received, our seniors are asked to stand for confirmation of degrees, and then we will all raise the roof. Isabella Agudelo. Yaslin Aguilar. Corinne Julia Aline. Morgan Elise Allard. Amira Elizabeth Baxter. Cecilia Hayward Belser-Vick. Jaden Bennon-Haley. Danny Baumeline. Riley Bond. Sadie Bridges. Tatum Rose Bronson. Ellie Brooks. Anthony Andre Brown. Ella Margaret Burns. Jack Callahan. Chiara Aurelia Pesquera Carl. Jaden Mafor Che. Morgan Clark. Son Elian Clark. Eliora Iko Cobb. Anselin Juliette Courier. Jamie Crosby. Jade Samuel DeFeo. Addison Hope Dixon. Kate Louise Dowdge. Kyler Duggan. B. Dunham. Max Grace Dunleavy. Caden Wayne Edwards. Essence Noel Epps. A.B. Flaherty. Kendall Presley Fulton. Alexandria Victoria Lee Gandy. Reagan Elizabeth Gandy. Keith Ian Garrett. Tristan Sean David Gibson. Jalen Lachey Gill. Corinne Evelyn Glenn. Sean Gomachek.
Thank you.
Mildred Ballou Grogan. Icarus Halliwell. Jay Hallman. Faith Serenity Ham. V. Hicks. Brianna Faye Hudgens. Avery Walker Jackson. Louisa Elizabeth Jane. Mary Catherine Jenkins. Emma Johnson. Kira Catherine Johnson. Tegan Yara Johnson. Julian Carroll Jones. Naya Jones. Nasiah Kyrie Jones. Sarah Psalms Kelly. Anwin Elizabeth Kiblinger. Ninviel Rachel Kusig. Madeline Elizabeth Lange. Iggy Larkin. Jacob Walker Leslie. Camden Edward Liston. Charlotte Lofton. Johanny Madrid. Olivia Joy Marseille. Tegan Madeline Ray McAlister. Madison Rose McCarthy. Angus Elijah Macinides. Jason Mickelson. Elena Manier. Got it. You're good. You're good. Katrin Sarah Smisick. Olivia Mixon. Melody Anna Morias. Hayden Thomas Moracle. Tyreek Ezekiel Myers. Kayla May O'Toole. Catherine Henley Olmert. Lil Oxenrider. Malachi Sloan Pancos IV. Luis Paredes. Kennedy Parker. Sophia Cyan Perriott. Ellison Peace. Lila Rhett Pickens. Claire Olivia Quackenbush. Evan Elizabeth Reagan. Miguel Reyes Jimenez. Trenev Robinson. Maria Gustina Rodriguez. Gautier Santini. Miko Jetta Shower. Aiden Elizabeth Sewell. Andrew William Sexton. Whitaker Simon. Marley Sisk. Zoe Ann Smith. Amelia Squires. Madison Alexandra Stallworth. Melanie Grace Stogner. Justice Divine Silas Swatzel. Dylan Stone Thompson. Rowan Delilah Tinker. Taylor Michelle Tolliver. Willie Tozzi. Santiago Eduardo Vasquez. Liana Catriel Vieira. Augusta Reese Watson. Cooper Harrison White. Kaylee Spring Wilder. Sage Rose Wilson. Zoe Grace Winston. Lilith Wednesday Wolsleger. Madeline Yawsum. Eric Zelmer. Stella Zagantz. Y'all can return to your seats. Graduates, please stand, graduates. They are holding diplomas, but nothing is official until I say this little magic spell from the South Carolina Department of Education, so hear me out. You have completed the requirements for a high school diploma as prescribed by the State Department of Education of the state of South Carolina. Therefore, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Directors of the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities, I now declare you 2026 graduates of the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts and Humanities. Move your tassels. Congratulations.
On today, we just witnessed an important rite of passage, one that even today is rare to many families as students still become the first in their families to graduate from high school. How fortunate we are to know that each of these students, whether first or 101st in their families to reach this milestone, we know that each of these students is capable of the highest levels of professional success from this day forward. To the parents and families of our graduating class, I thank you for being partners in this venture and for your support of the graduating class, for it has been through your continued love, your encouragement, and support that these young people achieved all that they have over the course of the last several years. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us on this special day as we celebrate the end of a journey and the beginning of the next chapter in what we know will be many success stories in the lives of these fine students. Enjoy this day, go in peace, and thank you for joining us in this day of celebration. We ask that the audience stay in place during the recessionals of the graduates and the employees. Please gather your belongings as you exit, as the auditorium will be closed behind you. Graduates and employees, please stand for the recessional.